think trail mix is really good. I think it's kind of underrated.
I enjoy it.
Honestly, I don't know that I need as many M&Ms as they put in there. As a kid, I felt like more M&Ms the better. But now I'm okay with less M&Ms. Oh man. Well, I'll get us started and then can take a question from Mr. Led, and then we can go from there. Okay, let's keep the tradition going. So, great day today as far as getting work in. I thought it was a practice that tested us a little bit. I always want practice to be perfect, and it's never going to be. And today we were far from perfect, but we're getting better. We're learning, and every time we go out there and need to do something better, it's a step closer to where we're trying to get as an offense. So, we just got to keep stacking these days, make the most of the time we have, and I'm very aware of the fact that perception right now is that our offense is going to be really, really great. We got all these great players, and I just think that's only perception. And it's our job, like today, working to make it reality. And so I don't really care much about perception. I don't care at all. I care about reality and making sure that that's actually what it is this fall. And until we go do it, I don't really feel any assurance from that. So every day there's just that work ethic to make sure it's a no-doubter that it's going to happen this fall. So with that, I'll take any questions you have.
Kurt, I was watching the talk with Steve, and you guys talking about the injuries and everything.
Yeah.
Kind of gave us an update. How's it holding up, the pads? And then the second part is, how's the timing coming with the passing game?
Yeah.
You all are working, putting in some stacking in some work there.
Yeah, the ankle's coming. Even since the last time I spoke here, I think it's stronger, more athletic, more dynamic. So I think the thought of play football to rehab it has been a great plan, because I think that's what I need. And I still got more to go, but I'm moving well and able to play the position. I took off today during a little 2-minute period, was able to run and felt no worse for the wear, felt like I was still moving well. So I think I might have given Coach Rob a bit of a heart attack, but I felt good, so he can rest assured knowing that. But it's different getting hit, and I got a red jersey on right now. So when we get hit, you got to be strong enough to be able to really stand underneath the weight of not just you, but of a D lineman. And so that's kind of where I'm trying to get. And then the timing, I think it is a work in progress. I think when you put the pads on and you got Grady Jarrett pass rushing and you've got some other variables, it's not the style that it is in OTAs when you're out there just in shorts and a T-shirt and less of a rush. So we've got to get everything really dialed in, and we just have to keep stacking the days to be able to do that.
What will be some of the goals and objectives? You get a day off, and then at the big practice on Friday at the stadium.
Yeah, I kind of view, I think the setting at Seconder was a lot of fun. There's a lot of energy. You want to give the fans a lot of something fun to be excited about. I think the stadium on Friday night as well, there'll be a lot of energy and excitement. But I also think that every practice needs to have that sense of urgency. And so whether it's today or Friday, you want to really be sharp. And so we just keep stacking every day up.
Kirk, when you mentioned that you took off, does that boost your confidence? And also,
yeah, it does.
With the coaches, do you hear from them afterwards, Kirk, we can't do that? Or
No, I think it does boost my confidence. I think it probably boosts the team's confidence. It's funny because we're competing against the defense, so they're not really rooting for me. And I took off and gained like 6 yards, and I've never heard an opposing sideline so happy. They were, yeah, Kirk, heck yeah. They were high-fiving me, as I was running back to our huddle, so that was kind of funny. But it goes to show how at the end of the day we're all in this together, and they were excited to see it. I think you have to push it. You have to do things, and I think the fact that it felt good was a good thing. But I heard about halfway to the sideline as I was running, I heard Rod going, blow the whistle, blow the whistle. So that's part of the deal.
Is that something you did just naturally? Or
yeah, and that was the fun of it, is when we have these periods where it's move the ball, call it, no script, compete, put a clock on, the timeouts, everything's real football. That's when you can really play instinctually, including taking off and running. So those are my favorite periods because I think they simulate the game the most. And that was a moment where that happened.
Kirk, circling back to the perception versus reality.
Yeah.
You've got so many young teammates. Have you felt the need to say that to them often?
Yeah, like when we went down to see John Gruden, that was a big message, that we were saying to each other is hey, we've got to work. We've got to do trips like this on the weekend to put in the extra time, to make up for lost time so that we do have the success we're wanting to have. And I think that's been a conversation going into camp, during camp. Darnell Mooney's locker's next to mine, and that gives me a chance, post-practice to kind of get feedback from him. I think he feels that way, and yeah, we both kind of, at times, we walk around the building with like a healthy state of rage, underlying rage, if that makes sense, that like, we got to be better. How can we be better? It's not good enough. I'm not good enough. And so you try to not only have that yourself, but like inflict it onto other people in a good way, where everybody's standards being raised. And so I do think it's a talking point, whether we're in the lunchroom or at the locker room or on the field.
You talk about connectivity so much before camp started with your teammates. After a week, did all that infrastructure you tried to build from your arrival to now, do you feel like it's paying off and it's growing?
Well, I think we're in a good place. I really like our group. You know, I really like the quality, the caliber of people, both offense, defense, special teams. Guys want to be coached. They want to work. They want to get better. And that's really all you can ask for. And then it's our job to, you know, they're making themselves available. It's our job to kind of, you know, give them what they need to be successful. So, no, I like our group, and we just need to put in the work to get to where we all want to go.
Have you had any more conversations with Raheem about playing in the preseason?
I haven't. It was pretty much a one-way conversation. I think it might have even been in June. It was way back where he's like, you know, he just kind of said it generically to everybody. And, I don't think we'll go there. But maybe when we get to Miami, if I don't feel like the practices went the way we wanted, you know, you can always maybe try to persuade him then. But there's just so much time between now and then. It feels like a ways away.
Was there power out in the dorms last night?
It was. It was. They allowed us to go home if we needed to, but yeah, so we're just kind of working through that. But it was great. No, I thought the staff was just awesome. You know, I woke up this morning and we had messages saying, hey, here's the plan, here's what we're going to do, here's how we're course correcting. They had food for us, so a lot of people serving, jumping in to help to make sure that, you know, the day could still be very productive, which it has been.
Did you go home then?
I went home. I'm not gritty enough to stay in the no air conditioning. I probably could have, you know, maybe, you know, toughened up and stayed, but I got in my air conditioned car and then drove home to my air conditioned bedroom. And yeah, veteran move, I guess you could say. But yeah, I think a lot of the rookies still stayed here. So I was gonna offer them my kids twin beds, but I thought they'd be better off here. So.
Kirk, how good can this rushing attack be, and how is there a way you could describe what Bijan, Tyler, and Jace each individually kind of bring to the table there?
Yeah, talented players certainly. I think it's fun to play with complete backs. You know, I play with backs who are good at one element of the position, but to have a back who can, you know, square up in pass protection, run routes, catch the football, you know, and then run the football, both between the tackles and outside. I feel like we have several guys who can do that. I'd add Carlos into that mix. I really like his game. So that's exciting. And then it really all has to work as a unit. You know, our O-line coach, Coach Led, talks about how it takes all 11. And I would add it takes him as the O-line coach. It takes an offensive coordinator. It takes a head coach. So there's so many pieces to run the ball well. But that's another part of perception versus reality. We got to put the work in out here so that it shows on the field as reality and not just rest on the fact that someone might think Bijan's going to have a big year. I don't really care what people think, you know. So, anyways.
What are you liking so far from Ray and McLeod? Seems like you're targeting him quite a bit.
I like him a lot. I like his movement skills. You know, it's not that easy to be a great mover, to separate versus man coverage in this league. When you feel like you have a guy who can separate versus good man cover defenders, you want to hold on to him. And Ray's one of those guys. Natural hands. I think he's competitive when the ball comes his way as opposed to being soft when the ball comes his way. So a lot of positive traits. I think having played in systems, whether it was with Ben Roethlisberger, whether it was with Kyle Shanahan, I think he knows what it needs to look like to be successful. And so that helps as well. And I think good things happen when the football's in his hands.
Mooney earlier.
Yeah.
What's it kind of like playing with him? I know you kind of had to see him twice a year.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Years in Chicago.
Yeah. I love his game. I love his game. I love the way he moves. I think he plays bigger than his size. He attacks the football. Today he caught a deep ball where the ball was a little underthrown, and he comes back to the football and makes a big explosive play for us. I think he can run the whole route tree, and I think football matters to him. You know, he doesn't just like what football brings. He likes football, and so that's really fun to play with. And again, he's a guy that I think in his first 4 years of his career has not been able to have the success that he really deserves, and I want to see that happen this year for him. And I want to be a part of it, and I think that we've got to go do it. It's not just going to happen, and he knows how hard it was in Chicago to have that success, so he knows what it's going to take, but we've got to go do it. And there's a sense of urgency to make this a big year for him.
Just from your perspective, what have you seen from Clark Phillips in camp?
Yeah, his locker's 2 down from me, so we have a lot of good conversations too. And he'll usually say to me pre-practice, like, "Hey, you feeling generous today? You want to throw me one?" And I say, "No, I'm not feeling generous at all. I have 0 hospitality today." So I like his game. I think that that entire secondary. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if it's Jesse Bates' leadership. I don't know if it's Clark. But I just think they're all doing a really good job of being smart, disguising things, making things look the same that are different, and playing where it's muddy for me. And I think that's going to make it hard on other quarterbacks this fall. But certainly at times I'm pulling my hair out a little bit, dropping back, feeling like I can't get a grasp on what's back there.
This is your second time starting over with offensive line.
Yeah.
So with the cadence, is it more so it's going to take it on the field in practice, or is it off the field as well?
Yeah, it starts with a meeting. You got to kind of introduce it like it's a high school math class and talk through it. And you got 7 or 8 verbal cadences, 6 or 7 silent cadences, and you go through each one and you say, all right, just because I just told you them and you all wrote them down doesn't mean we own them. So now let's go out to a walkthrough and let's do all of them, and then let's go to full speed. And so you try to mix them in. You try to talk through the why as well. Why would I use a cadence here but not use one here? So, I could do a 400 level cadence class now because of all the years I've learned what it means to people. But we've kind of gone through those meetings, and now we got to take it to the field, play in and play out.
Kirk, what did you notice?
This is a little off topic from training camp.
I'm all good.
I was rewatching Matt Ryan's speech that he gave in front of the team about what it means to be
Yes,
Falcon.
yes.
Notice you were sitting in the front row.
Yes.
Notes, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kind of curious as to what you remember from that. I don't know if you had any interactions with him personally.
Yeah.
But just what you remember. Yeah,
I love what he had to say. He talked about, how you kind of, this city, and I thought it was a good point, this city looks like our locker room. It's a diverse group. And this city will ride with us, but we need to earn the right for them to ride with us, and we've got to go out and play in such a way that, they're going to really, get behind us. And I was talking with a retired quarterback in April who's a Hall of Famer, and he was saying, Kirk, when I was in free agency and I was thinking about where to go, I thought, what would be a city that if you won, it would really be special and really come alive? And he looked at me, it was right after I signed with Atlanta, and he looked at me and he said, I think Atlanta's that city for you. And I think Matt echoed that when he spoke to our team, that when you have the year that you're trying to have, it can be really special, in December, January, February. And so that's what we're working towards, but nobody's going to give it to us. And I think that's the part that as a young player maybe you don't realize is it's not just going to happen. You have to blood, sweat, tears a little bit to get there.
During OTAs, Ross said that team chemistry isn't really built until camp. How have you seen that progress, and what are you liking with the guys?
Yeah, I think the dorms are one way to kind of help build that. In the amenities room, they call it, where we go hang out. I think the locker room, just not being in a hurry to get anywhere when work ends, but just kind of being around and spending time in the cafeteria. So a good competition on the practice field and time in the meeting rooms. We had a tremendous rookie presentation the other day. There's no more hazing. Even better than hazing, though, is these rookie PowerPoints. So if we ever have like a topic that we don't know anything about, we'll just say, hey, rookie, I need to do a presentation on this topic so I can learn about it like it's high school. So we had a rookie do a presentation on a couple conspiracy theories, and it was just phenomenal. And so, you're not doing that in week 4, but in training camp, we're here, 11 plus hours. It's like, hey, go up there and talk about if the earth is flat or not, So it's pretty hilarious.
History, or is that, is it
JFK?
Yeah, so what I told him is I said, try to pick one that has a little more legs to it. I don't want the one that the second you go up there, I'm like, that's not real. Like, give me one. So there's a couple more coming. We made like a power rankings list of the all-time conspiracy theories, and there's a few guys on the team who want every single one to be true, which is a little concerning. I'm like, why would you want the world to be that way? But there's a couple that make you think, and you walk out of those PowerPoints and you're like, boy.
The Rubicon stuff here? Or
no, it's just, it started in the linebacker room and it's kind of permeated the whole locker room now, and it's very entertaining. Honestly, in training camp, I just need a lift sometimes. Just need a lift, and and those PowerPoints will do it. So
The most persuasive speaker so far.
J.D. Bertrand did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal. I don't even know if I want to go there publicly on the topic, but it's a phenomenal PowerPoint, and I got to give a rookie credit where credit is due, and there's more to come.
Flat Earth, or what was the?
I can't go there. I can't go. It's too edgy, too sensitive.
What happens if they don't persuade you? Like, there's anything?
It's okay. It just need to make me laugh.
Okay.
You need to make me laugh. Okay, it's training camp, so. But I need to be informed too. I don't just want to laugh. I want to learn. So. All right.
Kirk, Kyle, obviously, like everybody else, wants to get better and has a lot of high expectations
Oh, yeah.
for himself. But what have you noticed in how he approaches each and every day?
He's working hard. I love the way he's showing up right now in our pass game. He's a friendly target with his size, and he's got great movement skills. And we're going to ask him to do a variety of things. Running routes. He's run a lot of different routes, but. I think we're going to distribute the ball all around, and I think he's going to keep showing up for us. And it's funny because sometimes he's number 3 in the progression, and he shows up, because I'm progressing. Other times he's number 1. And so, but he's another guy where every day we just got to keep learning from each rep, coach each rep, and say, hey, I got to be better for you there. Hey, I should have thrown that ball back shoulder. Hey, I should give you more time there. Or, hey, I shouldn't have gotten off of you. I should have stayed with you. So just trying to have those conversations and those reps to where you can, be so efficient on every play.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you, Kirk.